Sure you can. Try harder.
What state? No. Hey. I don't know what state.
This time I have my watch at 6 o'clock. This time I'd like to welcome each and every one here tonight at my city council meeting here in the city of Lafayette. Just want to welcome each and everyone here in attendance tonight. At this time, just call to order. At this time I have an invocation by Chief Rankin.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come at this hour, first of all, acknowledging that you're God and you're God all by yourself. Now, Lord, because you're God, we come now lifting the city up of the fair up to you. And we pray now that you do what you do best, and that is be God. Lord, we pray that you'll bless our mayor and our council. We pray that you'll bless the citizens of the fair. Bless all the workers of the fair, dear Heavenly Father. And we pray that you'll continue to help us to prosper and move in a positive direction. We thank you for what you have done. We thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for what you will do. And then, dear Heavenly Father, we pray that after everything has been said and done, that we'll be so careful to give you all the praise and all the glory. For it is in the mighty name of Jesus we do pray. Amen.
Amen. We'd like to thank Chief Rankin for our invitation tonight. This time we ask our clerk to come around for our roll call.
Councilmember Mangrum.
Here.
Councilmember Hunter.
Here.
Councilmember Thomas.
Here.
Councilmember Ellis.
Here.
Councilmember Williams. Mayor Vine.
Here. At this time, do we have a motion to approve the reading of the minutes from May 24, 2021 from our regular city council meeting?
So moved. Second.
It's been properly motioned and second that we approve the reading of the minutes of May 24, 2021 from our regular city council meeting. Any discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
passing about reading of our minutes, May 24th, 2021. This time I see we have Ms. Carrie Roster, GB, ACC Executive Director for our Chambers update. Ms. Roster, just come around, please.
Good afternoon. Do I have to talk to this? I want to give a chamber update. This distracts me so bad. I want to give a chamber update. If you will look in front of you, I left a packet. The chamber has started a new tourism committee about a month ago. The first thing on the agenda was local t-shirts. If you'll flip to your third page in your agenda, you will see a proof of those shirts. I did add one Lafette Nutrition today. They joined the chamber, and so I was able to add her to the list. This is something we are very excited about. I think this is going to go over great. If you'll notice, the front of the shirt says local. Embedded in the state of Alabama, it says chambers. And then on the back of each shirt, there will be 2 shirts. We identified about 32 locations that we're going to start with to see how these shirts go. My vision is for when people are wearing these on the back, people are standing behind you in line and so forth, that they maybe see Terry's Mill Village Cafe and they're like, oh, where is that? Or, you know, kayaking on the river, they want to come and kayak on our river. And so it is a big tourism push. I got this idea from the beach. They had these in Panama City, and it caught my eye, and I absolutely loved it. And I knew for sure that we had to have this here in Chambers County. So I should have these shirts in my hand on Monday. If you're interested or you want these t-shirts, let me know. I have reserved some for the commissioners as well as the city council members, okay? We will have different colors. What you see is an orange, and there will be different colors to choose from. So super excited about that. This committee is now working on the second item. We are hopefully going to do a antique like crawl to drive people into the antique stores. We've identified 6 antique stores just in Chambers County, and so I think that would be great to outline those, have people coming in. They'll probably have like punch cards, and so they'll get a prize once they've visited all 6 antique stores. Once that is over and go, and that's something that we're going to continue, we were going to go to the next item. So very excited about this new committee and the work that they're going to be putting out. Upcoming events is our annual dinner will be September the 16th, which is the 3rd Thursday of September as always. Working on a location. We're going to try to do a luncheon this time versus a dinner. We feel it may go over a little bit better. And the main reason I'm here is Rockin' Fest on the square. On your second page of your packet, you'll see a flyer. I'm working on this now. We already have 10 vendors signed up for this. Last year we had 69, and that's our goal again, is 69, 70 vendors. Does anyone have any questions about Rockin' Fest and the way it was handled last year?
Y'all gonna have to tell the new students that issues, massage.
Hopefully they will sign up. Hopefully, yes.
It was great last year.
Yep. We're excited to continue that again. It will be on November the 20th from 10 to 4 Central Time. We will have most of the same events going on, except for the polar golf. I have swapped it out with a Everest climb, kind of give something a little bit different. The polar golf is cool, but this looks a little bit better, so we'll see how it works. We'll still have the skating rink and the rocking horse and all that, and we're going to try to keep the layout the same. I think everything worked really good last year, and so just as long as we have your support, I'm going to move forward on this contract. Are we all in agreement to do that? Okay. All right. You can look over the past events. If you have any questions, let me know. And that's all I have.
Ms. Ross,
Yes.
before you leave, I've been approached by several citizens, I guess looking for something during the summertime, some type of event. I guess I sometime get with you about that. I know we have Lafayette Day, Valley Haven in April, and now we have a Rockin' Fest in November. So I've just been approached by a few people trying to get some type of event during the summer. I know way back, I know some of you remember Pine Tree Festival, and it used to be in August every year.
Right.
And so I just been, I just told them I'd check into it, get with you, so
Yeah, I
it's
mean, if
something
you
we
have
can
some,
work on.
yeah, if you have some ideas, let me know.
Yeah, okay.
And we can definitely talk about something extra if need be.
Yeah, I know different people have different events. I know Strawberry Festival, well, we can probably come up with a name that's kind of different. I know they had a Peanut Festival in Dothan, and all kind of stuff, so it's
Right.
something that's,
And that's where I'm getting with this, the Rockin' Fest. I want to make it a yearly thing. I want to, I'm actually signing a 5-year contract for the Rockin' Horse. So that's what we're focusing on, and it's always here. Hopefully Lafayette will be known for that. The Rockin' Horse is not presented anywhere near us right now.
okay, also, I guess, I hope I'm in order. I know you said something about the contract. Is it something we need to look at, contract-wise?
That's something I signed. I just wanted to make sure that everyone was on the same page, that we are gonna continue to have Rockin' Fest in Lafayette. I actually signed the contract, but Lewis has a copy of it.
Okay.
Do you wanna see the contract? On that second page there, you will see the total dollars spent on the 5 items that we reserve.
Good, I just probably need to pass around, let everybody at least take a look at it. Since we have it. I'd like to take a look at it. That's all I have, Mr. Marshall. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. very
Thank
much.
you.
Street Superintendent George Green, B Street closure, culvert installation. Mr. Green, come forward, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Just want to bring you up to speed on our continuous improvements on our infrastructure. We kind of received some problems that occurred on B Street right at the wood yard. Over the past few years, we've had some accidents when the culvert stops up, water floods over the road. We received a lot of trash and a lot of wood particles. So B Street only have one culvert that drains from maybe out from the nursing home all the way back to maybe right along there by the Dixons. And then the other 2 culverts right there by the wood yard. But the old 2 culverts get stopped up all the time. We try to blow the one out that's under the road now, and it has so much growth in it, trash, and so we're gonna increase the size of that culvert to try to get that water. I'm being assisted by the water department, light power. Right now, we already kind of reshaped the ditches and everything to kind of make this go pretty quick. And so right now, we're kind of looking at Wednesday, maybe for about 4 hours, the road will be closed. It's a major street, and we prepped it up pretty good. We're gonna kind of cut the asphalt Tuesday, so we can get an early start on a Wednesday, so it don't take that long. So everything should be back up within about 2-3 hours. It'll be permissible Wednesday. But it's much needed installation of this curve. So it's stopped hold up, and the size needs to be increased. questions on? All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Wood. This time we're down now to our department head month report for May 2021. Report of officers, A, 911 board membership appointment, Chief George Rampy, reappointment.
I make a motion that we reappoint Chief George Rankin to the 911 board.
Been properly motion and second that we reappoint Chief George Rampy to the 911 board. Any discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same right. Motion approved. Approve Chief George Rampy, reappointment to the 911 board. We're down now to B, announcement of public hearing, June 28, 2021, at 5 p.m. to discuss the 1 cent sale tax. I guess I'll start that off. As I've been stating, and as you can see, I think each one of you received a letter, so I'm not gonna go too much in depth about it, that we need to do. We know what we need to do. No, a letter, I sent out a letter, should be in the council. Yeah. And, just some things that we, that every day we facing, from a pump being out $20,000 or $30,000 to everything else. So I'm looking at three phases of this. Number one phase is to make sure we all on board, and number two is approximately 2 public hearings from the public, get their input, and the final phase, phase 3, to come back for final vote, myself and the council. So, like I said, there's kind of some things we need to get done. This need to be done. It's been a while since we had anything approved, and right now, with things going up, we really need this. Looking at our finances, every time I get with the clerk, we sit down and look at these finances, looking at chairman with the finance committee, Councilman Mangum. It's something we got to do. So right now, we're not hurting, but we're not doing so well, like we need to be doing. And the closure of Cardo Road, sometimes you don't see the effect right then down the road. That's when you see things, when you have a closure. So, like I said, just if you just get time to look over everything, the letter that I put out, and let's get together on this, and so we can move forward. I would like to really move forward on this real soon while we're still working on this budget.
So this would actually really take effect in the next year's budget, right? I mean, with the timing on this, end of June, the first hearing, you're really talking about October.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really pushing, and I don't want to push anything right now. I wanted to make sure we get it right. We don't have too many times to get it right. So,
That's as soon as it would take effect, it seems like, by the time we have all the public hearings. Okay.
yeah, because we just have the first one here on June 28th, and we may be looking at sometime in July before we can get another one in. So, clerk, you like to kind of have anything, or you good?
Yeah, Mayor, just, we have the first public hearing scheduled for 28th. We're gonna do it at 5 o'clock. So that you'll have like an hour in between before the council meeting. The next public hearing is really whenever you all decide that you wanna have it. Then depending on how those go, I don't know, you may need a third public hearing, I don't know. But, just the process, definitely want to make sure citizens have the opportunity to express their thoughts either for or against the not gonna try to rush, so the earliest would probably be on that, FY '22 budget starting October 1st, if it's implemented.
Right.
Mayor, on the public hearing notice that you sent out, there is, something here that says anybody needing assistance to notify the clerk, you know, so that anybody needing assistance, to attending the public hearing. I'm just trying to figure out that, you know, what we're asking there, because, you know, there's people out there who need a ride, they're gonna be calling City Hall, trying to figure out how they gonna get there from what you just got written here. Is that something that, I mean, you know something otherwise, or what?
I'll let the clerk answer that.
Yeah, so, we'll clarify that just means anyone that needs, accommodations as far as here at the location. So, yeah, we're not gonna be picking anyone up unless Tony Tucker wants to to do that, but, yeah, just any type of, accommodations made at the actual location. So, we'll clarify that. It's gonna run in Wednesday's paper. They changed the deadline, so the deadline was today, so we won't be able to change it for Wednesday's paper, but next Wednesday, we'll make sure that we have a clarification in the newspaper.
Thank you, clerk.
Approximately how much will that bring in?
Not really sure, but just looking at some of the figures, it can be anywhere from 200,000 to 250,000. You know, I don't want to put.
I'm just trying to see what ballpark is. Do we give it any thought to ad valorem tax increase,
Sir,
property tax increase?
I hadn't got that for you yet.
Because our property taxes are very low.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
I understand one
step at a time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Gotcha.
sir. One step at a time.
I think that one factor a little bit of the process.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have no idea what it is.
At this time, we're down now to our hearing on petition, application, complaints, appeal, and communications. Councilman Manning.
Yes, Mr. Chapman. You step up, please. We've got a letter here on, citizen that you sent out a letter to. Is this the same incident that we dealt with a while back as far as this sewage is concerned?
Yes, but she got the top one completed, but the bottom, she won't be able to get on the city sewer. So she's going to make some other kind of arrangement for the bottom to apartment. I reached out, I always see on that letter, I reached out to her, and I reached out to the resident, the tenant that live in 3 and 4. There's no way possible that she can get on city sewer for them too. She asked me about a septic tank. I said, I can't answer that question, because I ain't gonna say yeah, and she can't do it. So, the owner of the property that is running on, I think he gonna want her to give him something if she come across, so, I mean, I'll let them, but I just, something that we just need to get addressed. We just can't let that keep happening.
Well, as far as I guess it's something that, you know, we really need to look at. I mean, what is the reasoning you saying she can't get on city sewage?
Because of the elevation. She's sitting down here and our sewer main up in, so it's no, unless she put a pump in to pump it up there, because with the elevation, there's no way she can get on city sewer.
You advise her of that, the
Yeah,
pump situation?
No, I didn't advise her a pump situation, but I just.
Well, I mean, you know, being that, you know, we do provide sewer to customers, I mean, citizens, you know, we've got to explore, we got to lay everything out there that she can possibly do to get sewer.
Well,
Get on our service.
Well, she already was on septic tank from the start. On both units, was already on septic tank. And we found that out
She's
once we
inside the
started
city limits, she
investigating.
was on the septic tank?
Huh?
She's inside the city limits, she was on the septic tank?
Yes, well, when I got into the investigation part of it, I found that she was on septic tank.
All right, I think that's something we need to really, dive into and figure out how we're gonna, you know, get this situation taken care of. And,
She can get on it, but she gotta get okay from the property owner to get on it. Now, I'm not gonna get in the middle of that right now. I'm gonna let them work that out, but she can get on it if he let her go across his property. Now, if he don't let her go across the property,
Excuse me, what we
then
talking about? What's located?
Harmon Apartment,
Harmon?
yeah.
overhang.
That Dwayne Webb property,
Oh,
yeah.
Toward Hangwood.
We got sewer down in the bottom, but she gotta go across the Wayne Welker property. Like I said, I'm not gonna get in that battle with them on that, but we do have the right there. If you don't let her go across it, then I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know,
That build a house or?
so we don't prolong anything. I mean, I think it's something we really need to talk about further and, make sure we advise her of all the correct things that needs to be done or
Cause here's what's gonna
possibly
happen.
can be done.
Here's what's gonna happen. If we keep letting this go, and aiding him find out, it's gonna be a bigger problem.
Well, number one, if there's sewer going on the ground, we shouldn't be allowed to continue to happen anyway.
That's why I signed that letter.
Okay, so we need to put a stop to it tomorrow.
Well, so, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. If y'all tell me to go put a stop to it, all I can do is just go, discontinue her service.
As far as
Yeah,
as far as your leadership and all, it's your place to ensure that there's sewer not going on the ground on anybody's resident anywhere. And, you know, we leave it up to you if that
Well,
problem come
well,
up,
let's get
then
this
you
straight.
bring it to us.
Let's get this straight. This been going on for way before I come here.
Well, how
I'm
long you
just,
been
I'm
here?
just addressing the
How
problem.
long you been here?
I've been here 5 years. They said
You
this
know
been
what's
going
been
on.
going on?
Huh?
You know what's been going on?
No,
for
I
5
know.
years?
I didn't know it until the guy brought it to my attention. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
So you know it's been going on for a few months, right?
Oh, yeah.
It should be stopped.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. If you want me to go discontinue your service, I'll go there tomorrow.
I can't tell you to go discontinue your service.
What you want me to do
Wait
then?
a minute. I'm gonna tell you to find out what the proper steps are to ensure that there's no sewer going on the
That's the
ground.
proper step what I'm going through.
Okay, so today, tomorrow, we're gonna let sewer go on the ground and it's fine.
I'm asking you a question. Do you
I
want me
just
to?
answered your question.
Well, you didn't give me an answer.
Yes, I did.
What answer?
I can't tell you to go over there and discontinue your service. You need to talk to the attorney to
I
see
talked
what
to
the
him.
proper
I
steps
talked
are.
to him. I
Whatever
called
the
him.
case may be.
I called him.
Let me interject right here. We're getting confused.
Yeah.
Mr. Chapman did come by the office, and that letter is a result of his consultation with me. We can't just discontinue we can't discontinue sewer service because she's not on our sewer. So we have to discontinue her water service, and there's a procedure that we wrote up the last time this happened where we can do that. But there's nothing we can do to stop the sewage coming out of the house. We can't go plug it up.
Okay, so you're saying the last time this happened,
Yeah, that was on case on 431. It was a different location.
okay? So we're talking about a different
It
situation.
ran for a while then too, but we had to do what we had to do. And I don't remember all the specifics of it, but the procedure that was developed then is the one that we're doing this time.
All I'm asking, and all I'm saying is that, you know, if we're gonna talk about ADM or anybody else coming in, finding us or doing anything else or saying anything else, and we know there's a problem, then we deserve to get fined.
Right. ADM is not gonna find her. Cause it's not a city problem. It's a customer problem. We just trying to make the customer get it right. The city don't have a problem. It's the customer that got the problem. So ADM not gonna send us no fine. Because when that happened the last time on Miss Blankenship, ADM called me and I went there and they said it was on the customer side, so I did what I had to do, what they say do, so they not gonna send us no fine because we don't have no sewage escape. The customer got to escape, so the customer has got to get it fixed right. So I'm going through the procedures that the attorney told me to go through to do it. That's what I did.
And so, I mean, that's all I'm saying is we need to fix it.
Well,
Make sure it's right.
does that,
If the attorney has advised you, then hey, you're in good standing.
yeah, I talked to him.
Okay.
I got a question. The last situation you guys keep bringing up, did you turn the water off to that residence?
Blankenship we did,
You did turn the water off?
Yeah, I just
So they got the
continued.
problem fixed?
then she got it fixed. Yeah.
Well, we can't turn it off either.
But I sent her a certified letter like I did them.
We follow the same procedure.
The same way that I'm doing her, I did Blankenship the same way. I sent her a certified letter, I gave her a date, I said, this is when you gotta get it fixed, so she did not have it fixed at that time, so I went and turned the water off, and she got it fixed. So, I mean, I was doing, that's the way I did last time, so I'm doing the same way this time.
Thank you. That's all, Mayor.
Councilman Hunt?
Okay, let's see. I understand that the Yergin Drive RFP went out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when do we expect a response, or have we had a response?
We have not had a response. Hopefully we'll get one within a reasonable time. I have not talked back to the engineer I sent it to yet about that subject.
I got a question. Excuse me,
Sure.
Yergin Drive, what happened on Yergin Drive?
It's in the RFP, a request for proposal.
Oh, for the right of way?
Yeah.
I thought you said something went out on Yergin Drive. I'm like, whoa.
Different kind of went out.
Okay.
This is a question probably for you two, again, the safety review request.
Yeah, that has been drafted. It needed some revisions because the state came in and made some changes. I had added some language concerning the state of 431 because it was failing in places, so I had added that as well. And of course, they patched it the day I sent the draft in. I've got to get with the mayor to, because it'll go out under his signature. I've got to get with him about the revision.
Okay. I've asked about an agreement with Unite about the community house, and I understand there is no written agreement. I think that's probably risky for both parties. Has everyone given that any thought? I mean, would you let somebody use your property without an agreement? Without a written agreement? I would.
I get from the attorney.
They're not in there.
Well, I understand, but if we don't think about it, they'll want to go in and,
That would be my advice as well, that when they do get ready to move in, we have a lease in place before they actually take possession.
I think, okay. So,
Yeah, last I checked, the email you sent out, I think our attorney responded to it and said he would look into
he
it.
said, for sure we needed one. I hope you'll do that. I went to the Hope Enterprises meeting last Saturday. It was a very good meeting. There a lot of good ideas flowed, and I emailed you the notes that I received today from the secretary. Ms. Royster mentioned tourism. That made me think of our museum, which hasn't been open for quite a number of years now. And if we want to try to encourage tourism, that's something we might want to look at, see if we can revitalize it. Because board members have all kind of fallen aside, and I know it's not a city operation. In fact, I don't know who it's responsible to, if anybody, except they have their own.
The county owns the property.
County, I think it's still in the railroad right away.
The county had gotten possession
Yeah,
and has done work on the property,
yeah.
including the right of way. Now, whether or not they hold a deed or not, I'm not sure. I know they hold a deed to the warehouse to the annex part.
Okay, well, that's,
I'm pretty sure they got a copy.
I've checked on the GIS, and that's right. That's the county's property, but the station
know-
itself, I don't think is.
I know I had discussion with the county attorney back some time ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, concerning the depot and what work the county could do there along the railroad right away. It seemed like the county did a good bit of work right there.
Well, it's something we might want to think about if we're going to start promoting tourism. Especially, we talk about antique stores, well, they'd be interested in seeing a museum as well, perhaps. And I don't even know how that functions. Do you have any idea?
No, that was a separate and completely different body. Now, I did talk to a couple of individuals over the past month or so that expressed some interest in trying to revitalize the board, since most of the older members are no longer active, or not with us anymore.
Okay. That's all I have for tonight. Say one thing, by the way.
During the week, I received a letter, an anonymous letter actually, and the letter was, kind of talking to me and another council member as far as to how we should handle someone else on the council. And, I'm saying this for this information to get back to the anonymous person that sent it. And basically, I want this person to know that I'm not in control of any council member up here. I am here to try to better Lafayette, trying to help Lafayette, and trying to do my part in whichever way I can. I don't speak for anyone else. No one else is speaking for me. So, everybody here is going to say what they want to say, and, then things are going to go the way they go. Hopefully it's to the good. But overall, I don't control anyone sitting here at this table, the mayor, or anyone. So just let it be known that if you want to talk to me, I am easily accessible. And we can sit down and have a conversation and talk about anything you want to talk about. We can talk about how things are ran here, and you'll learn what my role is. I can tell you, my role is the same as the other 4 councilmen here, and the mayor has a different role. So the only person here can basically, handle or control some things differently is the mayor. I'm not the mayor. So please, be advised, be told that if you want to talk, please contact me through City Hall so we can talk. I'm willing to talk to you. I would love to talk to you. That's it.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes, Mayor. Superintendent Chapman, please come to the podium, please, sir. Mayor, we had met, the committee had met several weeks ago, and we had some issues going on at the water treatment facility with some flood issues and all that was going on. So the committee decided to get a couple of estimates, and we was going to put a little building outside so they could get up out of the water. These guys are working in unsafe conditions out there at the treatment facility, and it's our responsibility to make sure they work in a proper, safe environment. And at this time, Superintendent Chapman can elaborate on what I just stated. He had brought us back 2 estimates, and I think some of the council members and mayor had also went out and viewed the area where we was talking about putting the building.
Yes.
And after Superintendent Chapman say a few things, then I'll say a couple more.
Well, yeah, the mayor come out and Councilman Harlan been out there one time, and also Councilman Mann come out there. The situation just got to just where when it rained real hard, water floods in the building. And it's only flood in our break room, but it floods the whole building, the back wall supply room. And it just to the point that, I don't think we need to just be standing in water and in our break room like that when it rains like it do. And also, we have critters coming there. I ain't gonna say what kind, but we got critters coming there. And, it's just something that needs to be looked at. I took the mail on the inside, and also the ceiling finish started caving in, and that's what we sit down and eat at. And, it's just unsafe environment. So, I got the 2 estimates. One of them is a wood building, and one of them is a steel building. One of them has already got the wire and got the breaker box. Not the breaker box, but it got the plugs and all that. That's the metal building, got all that. The wood building, got the running wire. Me personally, whatever y'all decide, be fine. Just get us out of there. That's all I'm asking.
What are we gonna do to address the problem? I don't have a problem with the building. What are we gonna do to stop the water from all this stuff that happened to the building now?
Well, where we gonna put the building at now, it's away from it.
What I'm saying, what are we to address the problem with the water and standing water and all this stuff that's going on now? Putting you guys in the building, that's fine, but what are we gonna do to stop the water from flowing into the current building?
I think I can answer that, Superintendent. Actually, he's gonna put it on a more level place. See, right now, they'll say like in the dump. And once they bring the building.
I understand what I'm saying. What are we gonna do to stop the problem that's happening to our current building?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about the new building.
Current building.
Me personally, I'll bulldoze it down.
Yeah.
That just
It need to
means,
be done.
and then I keep the side of it to where we park our back or
Okay,
up on there.
that's what I'm asking, what do we?
You know, I mean,
Well,
and we got some, dugout building out there where we can just take and put our supplies in that, make some shelves. I showed it to the mayor, we can make some shelves and enclose them, and we can put our supplies in there with a door on it.
Okay.
I mean, the building just needs to be,
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear,
yeah, you
what
know,
we're gonna do with the curb.
yeah. So, I mean,
So, thank you, Superintendent. So at this time, I would like to introduce a motion that we go ahead and, accept the bid of the, $8,120 bill, get these guys in a safe working environment.
That's a metal building or wooden building?
it's a wooden one.
the 8,000 is the wooden. The metal building is 12, that's the one that already got the wire, already wired up and everything.
Well, yeah,
Me personally, I prefer the metal, cause the wood, the bend gonna rot and the metal gonna be there. I
Be
mean,
coming back in a couple of years,
Yeah.
I get another.
Yeah, I'm talking about so.
I got my Jurgen
Yeah.
drive fixed.
So,
Yeah.
I prefer the metal, because you wasn't worried about it.
at this time, I reject that motion. I introduce the motion of accepting the metal bill for the price of $12,875.
Okay, I have one question on that. This is for the building itself, not for the installation? Or
Well, they gonna come, the building, once we purchase the building, they gonna come and level it out, and they gonna do all that.
Okay,
We don't have to level, and then for 2 years, they gonna come and make sure the building stay level. So the first 2 years, we don't have to worry about it. They gonna bring it out, and they gonna level it up. I mean, we gonna grade some of it out, cause we gonna get it graded out, but they gonna come and do all the leveling up. We don't have to do nothing.
okay, it has a slab, or is it a floor that's up off the ground?
They gonna put it on some blocks, I'm guessing. I don't know how they gonna do it, I have to find out.
Okay, but it does have it's not at ground level.
No, it's not ground level.
Okay,
no.
all right, that's good. In that case, I'll second the motion.
It's been seconded.
Oh, okay, then I'll third it then.
It's time, it's been properly motioned and second that we approve the metal building for $12,875 for the, I guess this is Action Building in Auburn. Any discussion on the motion?
Who's paying for it? Like, where we get $12,000 from?
Clerk, is it clerk? Come out, we got that there.
I was adding it up, put it in this.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I was actually just doing some calculations because we have a resolution to be brought before you all with regards to our current budget that we have not approved. So with that current budget summary that actually Councilmember Hunter put together, we had a surplus of $34,448.10. So I was actually reducing that amount by the amount of the building, and then we're gonna have to add that as a budget item into Superintendent Chapman's budget. So, now, as far as where the money is coming from, we have some restricted funds that we could possibly use, or as you see, we can just add it to the budget because according to these numbers, we're going to have hopefully have a surplus for the end of this year.
And saying, talking about, this expenditure, since we've been sitting here on council this term, the previous administration, that was a fire truck that went out of service, and remember, we got a bill, we got something here for a fire truck that needs repairs, and talking about replacing, repairing, whatever we can do. Repairing is a whole lot cheaper than replacing. So, I think we need to, really weigh these things that we're bringing up. This fire apparatus is very important to us also. And, no one knows how much and how things are until you really need it. And it's not there, so I just want to, throw that out there that, this
Plainville there. These guys, they're a safety issue, you know, we got water flood and all that stuff, so we're setting up here, we gotta look out for them, a safe work environment.
Well, I understand that. I mean,
Somebody get hurt.
I don't disagree with that either.
A problem happened out there, we gonna get out. Nobody needs to be worked out in the water, in the rain, you know. You need to be worked out. I don't think that's too much of being bad.
Well, you know, I think there's several things that could still possibly be done, you know, before we spend that $12,000. I think there's some things that really could be looked at, to improve the situation out here.
Most of it later is this stuff, you know, so. Been talking, most of this stuff.
It's only discussion part, I guess it's still a discussion, and next is for a vote. It's been properly motion, second, on the approval for the action building. Well, and like I say, at this time, it's still discussion. If not, if there's not any more discussion, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same right. Motion passed for the action building. Do you have anything else?
I don't know.
Councilman Ellis?
Yes, Mayor. I want to comment also on the letter that Councilman Mangum mentioned. My name is mentioned on this anonymous letter also. I'll pass it around. First of all, I was elected by the citizens of District D to represent them and work for what's best for the city of Lafayette. Nobody up here is making a fool out of me. I vote my conscience. I don't have a problem with nobody up here. If I disagree with something that somebody brings forward, I'm going to voice my disagreement. But if I approve, I'm trying to be a team player up here. I'm glad they spelled my name right. I guess I need to update my my phone number, email address on the city website so they can easily contact me. I'm not hard to find. Like Councilman said, we're individuals up here, but we come together with one body. And we are not, I cannot control anybody up here. If somebody wants to speak their mind and say how they feel, that's on them. And they have a right to do that. So, again, if you're going to complain or, tell me to get the hell out of here if I'm not doing my job, please be man or woman enough to put your name on the letter. Don't sit anonymous. I live at 507 Crabapple Avenue here in Lafayette. My phone number is 334-734-6394. Please contact me. Say I'm man enough, to sit down and talk to anybody about anything up here. I'm here to represent the people of the city of Lafayette and my district. Now, again, after it's over with, you should have put that in the paper, my name, my address, phone number, whatever, so I'm not hard to contact. I have a couple of things, Mayor. I just got this tonight, so I want to address that too. I was out in my district yesterday on Carver Drive and Vine Street, and there's a couple of potholes. I'm going to do work orders for that to get those taken care of. But I did speak with a citizen that came out and saw me out in the area and wanted to comment about police patrol. Don't know if it's true or not, but the person told me they haven't seen a police unit patrol that street in over 3 months. I said, well, I guess if you want to see one, you can go up to wherever the gas lines or dig in the lines, if you want, again, that's something we need to address. And the budget, as chairman of the Park and Recreation Committee, I would like to see more money put into the budget to go toward park and recreation. Like I said, not only are we trying to do stuff for the youth, but I think the city needs to provide recreation and a better quality of life for every citizen in the city of Lafayette, young and old. I know it was mentioned it was approved a while back to hire a part-time park and recreation director. How'd that come along? Have we even started advertising for that position? I haven't seen anything, I haven't heard anything on it, so I need to, it's been approved, I think we need to go ahead and put it in the paper or whatever, run ads, whatever, so we can start getting application for that position. Because it's almost summer, well, I guess it's official summertime. We need to go ahead and get to work and get some stuff in place for the summer and fall sports or whatever, recreation for everybody. And one last thing, the latest on the new city park, have you had any other updates on that? As far as, I know we're still in phase 1, has anybody, what's the latest on the new city park?
The last that I had with it, I talked back to Elise. I have had no luck finding an attorney that has experience doing what they're asking us to do as far as the overseeing entity. And I have reached out to an attorney in Montgomery a couple of times in legal municipalities. And then I believe Elise was going to look to see if there was somebody else that might be helpful. But that is something that was probably 2 weeks ago, maybe 3.
Okay, and my last thing,
If you give a couple more weeks, I should be able to come back with something more on the park. We're talking with, some other cities that also, got some things going, and as far as, trying to make things work, it's just, some leg work that has to be done to, try to get some things done. So,
okay, and my last thing is, we bought that old McClendon building during the last administration in hopes of remodeling that building and making that the new city hall, police department, all that work and everything went into, money, time, and effort went into that. We need to make a decision on what we're gonna do with that building. If we're not gonna renovate it, or we're not gonna use it for that purpose, I think we need to put it back on the market. Just sitting there. We're asking other people to clean up their properties, clean up their residences, their home, businesses or whatever. We got that building just sitting there, we own it, so we gotta do something about it. It's time to make something happen, one way or the other. Either we're gonna do something with it, or we need to put it back on the market and get it out of our control.
And we don't get any taxes from it now either.
No, it's just sitting there. So I propose, before the next council meeting, I request a work session to discuss that property, and what we're gonna do with it. So request a work session. I make a motion to have a work session for the next council meeting at 5 o'clock to discuss the old McClendon building property. Yes, sir.
Have a public hearing.
Oh, it's public hearing.
Yeah. Okay, I'll second.
Well, we can have it that day, but what about
Okay, wonderful.
have it on the agenda for the next council meeting, then we discuss it?
After, yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Council. Council Weed?
I do. This is gonna be the first time I use this mic. And I'm using it because I want everybody to hear. I'm 59 years old. I'm a grown woman. And y'all can write letters to Councilman Mangrum and Councilman Ellis, all you want to. My address is Post Office Box 683, Lafayette, Alabama, 36862. You can find me at williams.tammy81@gmail.com. I live at 113 3rd Street, Northeast Lafayette, Alabama. Any day of the week, you got an open invitation. When you're gonna write a letter to Councilman Mangrum and Councilman Ellis, it's Tammie, not Tammy. Now, Councilman Mangrum, Councilman Hunt, Councilman Thomas, Councilman Ellis, nor Mayor Byers can tell me what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. I have a freedom of speech. What I said at the last council meeting, I meant it. I'm not taking anything back that I said. I said what I said, and I meant meant what I said. Now, if you have a problem, you can come see me. Because right, Councilman Mangrum and Councilman Ellis won't get you shit. Won't get you anything. I'm a grown woman. I said what I said last council meeting. Everybody here, we're grown. Can't tell me what to say, how to feel, when to say it, how to say it, what to say. I'm a grown woman. If you got a problem, don't be a coward. You can come to me. We can settle it. Woman to woman, woman to man, woman to child. Doesn't matter. Because I don't have no fear. I want you to understand that. I don't fear nobody but God. So if you want to come on. We can talk. We can do what you want to do. Now, the next thing I've got is, I have a problem in lines with the department heads telling our citizens that they need to call City Hall with work orders. That's not the citizens' place. That's our place as council members. That's what we're elected for, is to take care of our citizens in our district, in this city, if someone has a problem. No citizen should have to call City Hall to place work orders. That's ridiculous. And if we call City Hall and place work orders, the department head has no right to go back and harass the citizen. You need to do the job that you were called for and leave the citizens alone. Now, we have a citizen that feels like he's been harassed. That's unacceptable. Because you can say what you want, or you can like me or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to represent District E. And if somebody calls me with a problem in another district, I'm going to let that council member know that there's a problem in their district. We should not be having department heads talking to citizens like they're not human.
I agree.
Everybody should be treated in the city. Everybody should be treated the same way. Each district should be treated equally. Don't come into District E and sham up a job and go to District A, B, or C, or D and make it beautiful. It's not acceptable. And I have a question for Councilman Mangrum. I'll come back to you when we get to the budget. That's it.
Okay. At this time, we ask our clerk for an audit of the accounts.
We have claims to the amount of $385,606.49.
Make a motion to pay our bills.
Been properly motion and second, that coming from our clerk of the audit of the accounts to pay our bills. Any discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same right. Motion passed. This time now, we're down to our resolution, ordinance, orders, and other business. A, resolution number 2021-06-14-01, 2020-2021 budget. Ask our clerk to come around.
Yes, Mayor, this resolution is just approving the 2020/21 budget. In your council package, you have a copy of the budget, and also the first sheet is going to be a budget summary. It breaks down the general fund by each department, revenue and expenditures. Does the same thing for the electric fund, water fund, sewer, all of the other smaller funds. Grand total projected revenue is $7,339,350. Expected expenses are $7,304,901.90. Surplus would be $34,448.10. That does not include the building that was just agreed upon to be purchased. So if you add that back into the budget, your surplus drops down to $21,573.10. I guess before you guys have any discussion, I just would like to point out that, we know that the budget is extremely late, but also want everyone to really pay attention to how, it's razor thin. And that's something I know that all the council members have talked about, but going into this next budget, we just really need to kind of look at everything and see. I know the mayor's talked about increasing fees. Just look at each department, see how each department is being run. Is it efficient? Because I know one thing the citizens are going to bring up, and they brought this up when we had the sales tax increase discussion in 2017. They want to make sure that the numbers are close here, but they want to see that the departments actually being run efficiently, and not that the numbers are close because there's waste. So just look at each department, and then also realize what we can and can't do as a city of actually now, I think, 2870 something. We dropped down in the last census.
Our numbers are down.
Yeah. I sent that email out.
Since 1980.
Yeah. So, just something to think about. I don't want to sit here and make anyone think, oh, sky's falling and the Fed is going to what. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we really need to look at our finances, look at the revenue, look at the expenditures, see what we can do. It was a little bit different years back when you had 2-3 different big employers in town that were employing a lot of people, using a lot of energy, high utility bill. When you lose those type of things, it affects what you do. Our last industry that I will not name, you're talking about a roughly 26% decrease in utility usage. That hurts. On the backside of the one before that was roughly about the same thing. So since I've been here, well, right before I was hired, you had a big employer that actually left. So you're talking about in the last decade, 2/3 of your usage is gone, not including people being employed, unemployed now. So just want everybody to look at it. I think it's really important that we really just dig deep into the weeds on this upcoming budget. I know we've talked about doing a lot of different things, but it's at some point, I'm a numbers guy, and I know the department heads hate to hear me say it because I'm always like, can we afford it? Where's the money coming from? But at the end of the day, we may want to do a lot of stuff, but if you don't have the money, then we're just fooling ourselves. So. But with that said, we need to approve a budget. It's long overdue, so this resolution is approving the budget according to these numbers. There were some things that we adjusted because when Councilman Mangrum asked the department heads to basically cut anything they didn't need within the next 6 months, there were some budget line items that were already over at the 6-month period. So we needed to adjust those in this proposed budget. So that's what we did.
Before we go, Clerk, I think it's due diligence that we give Chairman Mangrum, since he's the chairman of the Finance Committee, if he'd like to have anything to add to this before we vote.
Well, just reiterate what the clerk has said, in looking at the numbers and, over and over again, looking at, different budgets that was turning in, from the department heads and stuff. Overall, things are doable if we can cut out the waste. If we utilize our employees, and we're out here doing, the work that needs to be done, and not lollygagging around and stuff like that. Not only that, just, the expenditures of some of the stuff that it takes to run the city, or any city, is costly. So, if we take care of our equipment, take care of our vehicles and all that kind of stuff, all this stuff will go a lot longer, and, I think we'll be a whole lot better off. I thank everybody for, being patient. I thank everybody, department heads, for working with us as a group to, try to get this budget in line. Now, I will say, we have 3.5 months to pass, the next budget. So I will say now's the time for you to go back and get that paper out and put those items back on there that you talked about, we've talked about and looked at, and we're gonna see what we can do. But we wanna pass this budget like it's supposed to be passed. Not 2 months later, not 3 months later, not 6 months later. We wanna pass it and have it ready in October. So I ask everybody to go out and do what you need to do when you get to work tomorrow morning. You know, you can get started back on that stuff, and thank you for what you do.
Can I comment on something? Like I said, looking at this budget we got before us, and we're looking at salary increases in police and fire. I mean, but the next budget, next year, we look at, like I said, these men and women out here, street department, water, and every other department. I mean, you guys out here in the weather, day in and day out too, working hard. And they probably haven't had, pay increase in years. So that's what we need to fight for this next budget. Kind of freeze on all this other stuff. I'm in law enforcement, I understand, I know it's a tough job. But still, you got people out here in the trenches every day. These people need to look at pay increases too. We need to look at, try to get them more money. So that's what I'm hoping we all can come to an agreement on for the next
At
budget.
least cover the increase in the cost of living.
Something.
We're gonna be looking at our next budget real close. We're gonna go through that thing line per line. That's why I'm asking that they go ahead and get started, and, so that when it's time to present the numbers and all, that we make sure that everything is gonna be in line like it needs to be. And, we're just not, just because somebody write down a number saying, hey, this is what we need, this is what their salary is or whatever, we want to make sure up front that those are the actual numbers that we need to be playing with.
I will add to what Councilmember Ellis said. I think we have had some employees in various departments, variety of departments that have had merit increases, but we haven't had a cost of living since I want to say maybe 2015.
Look at everybody.
You have something?
Well, yes, I can ask a neighbor. The cemetery budget, the salaries, how many people is that?
Councilwoman, I'm not for sure. I will say, I'm gonna have to pass you to the clerk on that,
Okay.
because I'm gonna tell you why. I've had some of the same questions that you're having right now as far as why does salary look like it do, and we're talking about the cemetery, and he can explain to you a whole lot better than I can.
Okay.
With regards to the cemetery, and I know Superintendent Green can attest to this, we have the cemetery, street department, and the sanitation department. It's kind of all one department.
Okay.
So we'll kind of adjust the cemetery salaries because, say for instance, if Superintendent Green has 5 people total, or just making up that number 5, well, we may say 3 of them go to the street department, 1 of them goes toward the cemetery, and then 1 of them goes towards sanitation.
Okay.
So those numbers kind of fluctuate because it's really, it's 3 separate, but it's really 1 department. And then what happens, say like currently right now, we don't have a mechanic.
Yeah.
So technically there's no salary coming out that sanitation, but there have been times where, say, the employee that we had count for cemetery, maybe they left, so then there was no salary coming out of cemetery, but they were still performing cemetery duties.
Okay.
I guess that was agreed upon years ago with the auditor because the department is so small. If you start trying to divvy up and say, okay, well, this employee worked this many hours on the cemetery, this many hours in doing street department functions, you'll just have a disaster.
Okay. Did we add any, spots? Cemetery? Did we add any
No.
new, positions?
I'm not following.
Funds,
Funds?
employee numbers?
Hiring someone?
No.
Yes. Is that included?
I'm not sure of the exact number. I think Superintendent Green would have to tell you what his total number is.
Part-time positions?
He,
I am not for sure.
You need to explain that though.
Let Mr. Green maybe.
I think I can explain that a little bit better.
Okay.
Right now, I have about 3 positions open in my department. I have, 1 mechanic position open, I got 1 part-time position open, and I got, assistant superintendent position open.
What part-time position you got open, Ms. Green?
We had somebody leave the department about 2 months ago.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, the position that we advertising, I think what you asked me, is not a new position in the department.
no, I didn't know about the position being advertised.
Well, this is what's going on. The person that we hiring now, we just changing the duties in the department. It's not adding on the position. We gonna still have the same number. It just, the cemetery department, the building inspection department, and some lot of other stuff, letters and filing and all this stuff, I need some help in that position. So this position right here, this person will just be kind of helping in that position, all with the same numbers that I had before. There's no position being added. It's just trying to get my numbers back up to where I had it before.
So you're saying you're advertising for what?
For someone to do some clerical work as far as
But
file.
that would be adding a position.
No, it's,
creating a position.
it's not creating, it's just creating some different duties within the department. I'm still gonna have the same number of people.
Is that all they're gonna be doing is filing papers and
No,
stuff?
it's several duties that gotta be
They'll be
done.
out cutting grass and strawberry curbing?
Well, I'm trying to get my numbers back up, then I will have enough personnel to allow this person to help do some of this stuff. I mean, like, when we sell a cemetery lot, there was a lot of stuff behind that. It don't end there with the sale. If you want to keep records proper and have a good history of this stuff, to do it right, it's a lot of mapping, it's a lot of, sometimes people come back 20 years, want to know where a person is, put a headstone. Then a lot of times they come back, we might have to go out and do 5, 6, 7 at one time. That was a lot of work with the duties that I got. I think I brought that up before, that, cemetery is a lot of stuff involved in. Now, if we want to do it like we've been doing it in the past and don't have good records, and then you have to spend the hours out there trying to find somebody, we need this stuff on some type of system to make this thing go a lot better. We've been having a lot of sales. You'll see how many cemetery deeds is coming up. We probably got that many already need to be brought before you. So it's a lot of work. And it's a little bit too much work for me to do without changing some duties. Me and the mayor talked about it, and he agreed that, if we wanted to make it look like it need to be, we have to make some changes in the department.
Have anybody thought about, maybe breaking them 2 departments up? Since you say you got so much work that you tired of, maybe having someone else, maybe another department here. It's just an idea now, to take over the cemetery while you continue with the street, or vice versa. Anybody have the council thought about that? Since the duties are so much on.
Well, can I say this? Well, when I took the job, all this was already in place. The same guy had some of these same duties when I got there.
I'm saying now, I understand all this was in place before you got there, but I'm saying since there's so much work on you right now, maybe you need to be relieved of some of the duties you're doing.
I think I've been saying it for a while, But what I'm saying is, a lot of this stuff is very important. Some of this stuff need to be kept for a long term. Some things be kept for 10 years, but this need to be kept for a long time. And if we want to do it right, we need the proper people to help do this stuff.
I have concern as far as us, going in with creating another position.
It's not a position being created. That's where you keep. It's not a position being created. It's no different if I had somebody that was already cutting grass and asked them to come in and help me 2-3 hours. I tried to do this in the past.
So you're saying this person, from what Councilman Ellis just asked you, and you kind of hit it, but you're saying this person gonna help cut grass and all that kind of stuff?
They're gonna be able to help do whatever I need. That's gonna be their primary duties in the department. It's no different than what we already been doing. I was already taking somebody to help go mow graves.
I think we need to look at this overall and see what's going on here as far as us putting someone else in. You have been allotted, say, 10 positions, so now you're gonna use the 10th position to change this the grouping here, and, you know, with this person being added or whatever, where's their office at, or where they gonna sit down at, where's all this stuff gonna take?
We looked at all, Councilman, we looked at all that. I've been looking at this for months.
We don't, I
We
mean,
don't
as
make-
far as the council is concerned, here's my thing, we're talking long-term.
It's no
We're
different.
talking long-term for whatever happens here. And I think we need to have a little more discussion about this before we jump head over heels into it.
Well, Council, I think you're getting it wrong. We're not adding anything. It's the same number of people that are, so as far as it's just a judgment call within the department trying to figure out how to make this thing better. It's not adding anything. It's not gonna cost us a extra, what it all amounts to is better record keeping for filing
I hear you saying
and
that.
in the future.
But it's a change of job description, it's a change of duties. That what.
It's the duties within the department. This person can go get parts if necessary, or help me do something else.
Concentrating the duties.
I've been asking you for a while, with the high increase of sales, we can sell the grave and just throw the paper over there, but it's compounding on the bad situation that we already got. It's nothing added, it just change of duty within the department.
I got a suggestion, what about, like other cities you go to, they have people, in the budget, it's listed cemetery and salaries. Why don't we, the position you talk about for the cemetery, let that, we've got enough work for them to do, they can be in charge of record keeping, cutting and doing the cemetery, that's all they do, 5 days a week, and taking care of the cemetery, paperwork and everything, and that way you don't have to pull them from the street. You know, then you hire people to take care of cutting grass and all that stuff. That cemetery, you go to any other city, people that are assigned to the cemetery, that's all they do. So that way we know whose job it is to take care of the cemetery.
We don't have enough personnel for that.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, and grass cutting is seasonal.
We don't, Councilman, we don't have enough personnel. I only have 6 full-time. What you don't understand, I have a lot of part-time people in the department.
What I'm saying, Mr. Green, is the position you're want to advertise for, why don't you just have those people assigned, or that person assigned to the cemetery? That's all they do, record keeping, cutting grass, doing whatever needs to be done in the cemetery. That's all, they concentrate on the cemetery.
Well, it also a lot of certificate of occupancy paperwork have to be done when someone,
Again,
on the
that
building
person,
inspector side,
that's involved in the cemetery, right?
no, the job is just not cemetery only.
But Mike is saying get somebody specifically for.
For the cemetery. That's all they got to worry about is dealing with the cemetery.
That's what I was saying.
Get somebody, hire somebody smart enough to do the paperwork,
That's great.
cut the grass. They got to be,
That would be
like you said,
full-time.
because you
That would be
said-
full-time.
Because you said the assistant superintendent job, how long that job been open?
About a year.
You have nobody under you that's qualified, you think is qualified?
We advertising it right now.
Do you have anybody that's been working with you long, whatever?
I done offered it to them. They don't want it.
Well, we could advertise for that job.
That job is also being,
That person be in charge of the cemetery then, and you're going to advertise for that assistant superintendent?
but what, the thing about it is, my salary is equal to the same thing that the rest of the superintendent's salary equal to. But I got 5 departments I'm trying to run.
We're trying to alleviate some of that work off of you by hiring, you said that assistant to you has been open for a year. Advertise for that position and make sure somebody that can do the paperwork for the cemetery, just let them be in charge of the cemetery. That takes some pressure off of you, because you're doing code, the building stuff and all that. Go and fill that position, it's in the budget.
It's in the budget. It's nothing conflict in the budget anytime.
But I'm
It's
saying
just a
somebody-
duty change.
We got the position, go ahead and advertise for that assistant superintendent.
It's
But
already
make
in the
sure
works.
It's
That's already in the
advertised for?
works. Yes.
Sir, it's been, already been advertised?
It will be advertised
What I'm
this
saying,
month.
hire somebody that can, that's all they do, that in cemetery. And fill in when you're not there.
That's what I'm just trying to help the situation because there's a lot more paperwork than you realize. That's what I've been trying to say
It's great,
for a
Joe,
while.
I'm saying, that person, you don't have to worry about all that, that's some pressure off of you. Hire somebody to fill that assistant superintendent job, you've offered it to people under you already, nobody wants it. So can't nobody be mad if you advertise and you hire somebody to do the job. And then when that person is over there and tell them, make sure they're doing their job, they ain't got nothing to bitch and complain about.
The salary already in your budget.
I understand.
Do you really understand?
Yes, I understand it. That's why me and you've been talking about it for the last 2 or 3
Yeah,
weeks.
but it's coming out a little different tonight than what we kind of don't talk about.
It's just a change.
I think, you know, so that.
It's not adding anybody, if that's what you're concerned about. It's not like the code enforcement guy we hired before, it was on top of the number that you already had. This is just changing the duties within the department. That's all it is. It's just changing duties.
Well, you know, so everybody feel comfortable with what's going on, why don't we just table this issue as far as that is concerned, and we all get together and sit down and talk about it and see what needs to be played, how this needs to play out as far as position and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, because, you know, if we leave here tonight with the way things are, you're not gonna be satisfied with what we're saying, we're not gonna be satisfied with what you're throwing back at us. So why don't we just get together at a later time and have a discussion as to how this needs to be, as far as, you know, what's best for the city of LaFayette. Because this is, once again, I'm gonna say, this is long-term, what we're looking at.
It's not helping the situation, the current situation. You probably table it, but I guess you don't trust my judgment on how to run the
No,
department.
I'm not saying, no, Mr. Green, you see,
I think what you've already mentioned, that we're gonna table it and we're gonna discuss it later till we have everybody come to a better understanding. I think right now we need to move on to.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're down now to B, resolution number 2021-06-14.
Mayor,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
we got to.
Oh, we didn't pass it, right, okay.
so, this is actually a resolution of a permanent nature, so it acts as an ordinance, so we would actually need to make a motion to suspend the rules to consider this resolution. And then if that is approved unanimously, then we need to come back and actually vote on approving the resolution for the budget.
So make that move,
What do you make of it?
that we suspend
Suspend the rules.
ruling
Yeah.
on the budget.
Yeah, suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 2021-06-14-01.
With the exception that we're tabling what we just discussed.
See, and that's kind of, I think what y'all are talking about is not in this
Kind of falls
budget.
out.
It's
Like,
not in this, but that's my question, is it not in this budget?
No.
because I think what, and Superintendent Green can correct me if I'm wrong, I think what you're talking about is Superintendent Green just wants someone to do different duties.
Right.
But,
That's
but,
not included in
but
the
this
budget.
budget, see, but that's not really a budget item. This budget is just approving the overall numbers. So what he was saying was his numbers didn't change. So this budget is not necessarily approving what he does with his numbers. It just approves the numbers. And then as far as if you're gonna hire someone within these numbers to do certain duties, then I think that's something the mayor, council, and Superintendent Green need to talk about. But this doesn't approve what he wants to do, and it
It's not
doesn't
gonna change
disprove
the
what he
numbers. Okay.
wants to do.
Okay.
Been properly motion, do we have a second?
You don't have a second?
No.
Second.
Been properly motion and second, that we approve resolution number.
Suspend the rules.
Suspend the
Suspend
Suspend
the rules for
rules.
immediate consideration.
For immediate consideration, for resolution number 2021-06-14-01, 2020-2021 budget.
I'd like to make a comment. I think we need to go ahead and do this and put this fiscal year's budget behind us so we can start working on planning for the future. You know, we can work on the details of this. There's things about it I don't like. But it's basically the same budget we've been using for the last 3 years or so, with some changes in it, but nothing earth shattering. And I think really we need to put this behind us and get on with the next year's budget and try to plan 5 years out if we can, and see if we can't really make some improvements in this city. To do that, we need to get this out of the way and so that we can concentrate on the future.
Councilmember Mangle?
Yes.
Councilmember Hunter?
Yes?
Councilmember Thomas? Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Councilmember Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Vines?
Yes. Motion approved.
And now motion to actually approve the resolution.
Make a motion, we approve the resolution. Call that number off again, Ms. Clerk. Resolution number.
2021-06-14-01.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been properly motion second that we approve resolution number
2021-06.
That's 06-14, that's 01/2020, 2020. Any discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Roll call.
Oh, roll call.
Councilmember Mangle?
Yes.
Councilmember Hunter?
Yes?
Councilmember Thomas? Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Councilmember Williams? Mayor Vines?
Yes.
Then I will get with the department heads, as Councilmember Mangum asked, to get their budgets from them with all of their requests, and then we'll start digging into that, because I know I didn't mention it tonight, but I've mentioned it before. It's been years in the making where department heads have kind of been asking for things to be, they've been asked to cut things, and they've been going without. So we kind of need to figure out, okay, what do we need to do? What are we going to do, and how can we pay for it?
Thank you, Ms. Clerk.
Thank you.
Thank you, clerk. Now we're ready for B. Resolution number 2021-06-14-02, Project Flame Tax Abatement. Mr. Chris Buzzer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you all for allowing me this time. Purpose for this visit this evening is previously I had indicated to you a potential project in the city of Lafayette. At this time, I will explain the details of that project and then present a request to you from the company. As you will recall, about a month and a half ago, East Alabama Lumber, their sawmill burned down. Over the past few weeks, the Development Authority has been in contact with the owners of the company about the future. There was some discussion about potentially relocating the facility to their Salem operation, but after negotiations with the company, they had indicated to us they wish to rebuild the sawmill. So tonight, I'll present to you an application for a sales and use tax abatement on new machinery and equipment for the rebuild of the sawmill, as well as a 10-year tax abatement on ad valorem taxes assessed on the materials and machinery that will be purchased for that rebuild. Last time I spoke to the council, some of the questions that were asked were some numerical data on the project. Right now, early estimates that it will cost about approximately $20 million to rebuild the sawmill. They currently employ 90 individuals at that facility. They have relocated a portion of those employees to their Salem facility and started a second shift. When this facility is rebuilt, those employees will come back, so that would an approximate total number of employees of 90 individuals. On the abatement request, as you know, educational portion of sales and use and ad valorem taxes are not allowed by the state of Alabama. Based on the $20 million investment, sales and use tax that would go toward the school system, should this be approved, $107,500. On the ad valorem portion, the amount of non-abated taxes are $443,986. That is over the course of 10 years. That is an average of about $37,000 per year on ad valorem taxes. Tonight, I have sent this to Attorney Tucker as well as Mayor Vines and City Clerk. I have an abatement agreement that I would ask to be approved. I have a resolution certifying the abatement agreement, And because this is a company that has never asked for any incentives before, we always like to do a project agreement with the company when they have never entered into an agreement with us before. So at this time, with the project agreement, which is basically something Councilman Ellis, I know you asked about last time, and Mayor Vines as well, basically assuring that they do what they say they're going to do. That's what the project agreement will do. Attorney Tucker, our attorney, as well as the company's attorney, are in the process of reviewing that project agreement. We're pretty much done, but because this is a project that needs to move quickly, my request tonight, in addition to approving the resolution, granting the abatements, approving the abatement agreement, is to also approve the project agreement and allowing the mayor to sign pending approval from Attorney Tucker. So I'll let him make some comments, and then I'll take questions.
It's just gonna take two motions.
Okay.
One to adopt the resolution for the abatement agreement, and another motion to allow the mayor to enter into the project agreement along the lines that you have already provided the council. However,
Is there any questions that I can answer about the project or anything like that? I can tell you the timeline. As you know, supply chain is very difficult these days, and these are all custom-built pieces of machinery. So their estimated start date will be in 2023 because it takes about a year and a half to actually construct these materials. They are not something you buy off the shelf. They have to be constructed specifically for this project.
I make a motion, we accept resolution 2021-06-04. I don't have a glass on.
14.
14, okay. Dash 02.
It's been properly motioned and seconded that we adopt resolution number 2021-06-14-02. How soon is roll call vote? Yeah, let's go ahead.
Councilmember Mangum?
Yes.
Councilmember Hunter?
Yes.
Councilmember Thomas? Yes. Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Councilmember Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Vine?
Yes. Resolution,
But one other motion, Mayor, if applicable or possible, that the council would vote to allow project agreement pending, or for you to agree on the project agreement pending Attorney Tucker's approval.
been properly motioned and seconded. Mr. Busby, what he stated, Attorney Tucker, I mean to look at this resolution. This time, ask clerk for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Mangum?
Yes.
Councilmember Hunter?
Yes.
Councilmember Thomas?
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Councilmember Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Vine?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Time C, convey cemetery deed number 1564 to David Hughley, Hendon Cemetery.
Make a motion that we pay
Okay, I was waiting on that.
1564, 67, 83, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
I'm going to abstain on number 1589.
You know the person involved, right?
It's not my grade.
At this time, we have a motion and a second to convey cemetery deed number 1564 through 1597. 1589, Councilman Ellis abstained. Any discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, have the same right. Motion carries. At this time, do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Been properly second motion that we adjourn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, have the same right. Meeting adjourned.
Five different, there's five different documents. Two pages.
See, I can do the ones without, I can't. Yeah, that's what he told me.
That's 5 times? I know where to find it. Mayor, sign these, you should not have to sign off on these. I've got to get, these on my signature, so then I'll. See you, Tony. All right, I'll take care of this, I'll take care of this. Yeah, you're good. I'll get Mayor to sign these, you guys will get certified copies.
So just have to figure out another number.
No, I was gonna talk about it. Louis, did you take my pen? Yeah,
How you? Hey, how you doing?
Louis stole one.
I'm figuring it out, so I ain't got that track. I ain't got that track. Did somebody want to say something? Had you too.
59 years old.
I ain't scared of nobody.
Oh, that's what I saw. Right, that's the last one.